Much for the opportunity. Just in closing, speaking right up from where Domiso left off, and tying back to where I started, is that the consequences of the violence that women and girls face online is real and tangible. The effects are not, confined to the online space. They have real life and tangible effects on people's lives. And so for me, my parting shot is threefold. There are responsibilities that governments must take, there are responsibilities that the platforms, the social media platforms themselves must take, and then there are responsibilities that the universities must take. And then I think it's important to frame it in that way so that we also move away from blaming the victim, as we were saying earlier. We move away from placing the responsibility of, like, your safety is your responsibility. Well, yes, there are things you can do to make sure that you're safe online. And, there are many trainings about how to stay safe, how to, avoid being catfished and being all of these things. But then ultimately, for me, from the legal perspective, the responsibility lies with the online platforms, and the responsibility also lies with the government to keep people safe, to uphold their rights, and to be in line with all the legal and policy frameworks that we have regionally and nationally. So social media platforms must proactively be identifying and responding to risks. They must put in place community guidelines that are effectively responding to threats as they arise. They must deprioritize, or even shut off platforms or groups or communities that spew rhetoric that is harmful. And then finally, universities must also have real and tangible responses and responsibility when it comes to responding to violence and supporting victims as and when the violence occurs. So thank you very much, and back to you, Joy.
Thank you. Thank you so much to all of our experts for the insightful comments and contributions that you've made today. Really, really appreciated and welcome your recommendations that you've shared. I've been so thankful, and I need to acknowledge all of our participants for the interaction and the engagement in the chat platform. I encourage you to continue with that. Please do not stop, because we're moving on to the next stage of the discussion. Ultimately, really, this forum is about centering student voices. Their lived realities often get left out of policy discussions. And so we want to turn to our student panel before we run out of time today. And